Hello and welcome everybody. I am Sarah Simmons, CEO at Impact Innovator. Alex, you can share when we are live on LinkedIn and YouTube. And I'm really looking forward to welcoming you guys for this awesome masterclass today on the 5 virtually unknown buyer secrets of how you can scale in a really simple, organic way. So, welcoming you guys joining on LinkedIn, welcoming you guys joining here on Zoom, welcoming you from around the world. This is going to be a really interactive masterclass. My name is Sarah Simmons and I am CEO at Impact Innovator, where we help some of the world's leading mission-driven founders scale their business by showing them a really simple, organic roadmap. And that is what I'm sharing with you guys today. We're going to be covering 5 virtually unknown billion-dollar buyer secrets of how you can get seen, heard, and bought by the ideal clients and buyers that you dream to sell to. And the roadmap I'm sharing with you today is helping founders just like you add anywhere from 200K to 2 million in additional revenue. So let's dive in, and do put in the chat where you're from, and do put in the chat what you do, and put in the chat what is your biggest struggle right now. Why are you here? How can I help you in a way to unlock something for you today? Now, at the end of our session today, I'm also going to be having time for Q&A. You can drop your questions in the chat as we go through, but also you can drop them at the end of our session today. So let's dive in. Now, I'm going to start with something huge that excites me immensely. Today, you have the greatest opportunity of all time to make the impact you dream of. So sit with that for a second. As we go through this masterclass today, I'm going to explain exactly why today is the greatest opportunity of all time for you to make the impact you've always dreamed of. So as you sit here today and listen to these 5 steps I'm sharing with you, think about how long you've wanted to make the impact that you dream of. Is it 1 year, 5 years, 10 years beyond? Because now is the moment when the world is really looking for, in a greater way than ever before, that one founder, one brand that stands out and speaks to them in what I call as a category of one. So what are you getting today? You're going to get a 5-step playbook that isn't designed to be something, that sits in some learning in the back of your mind. By the end of these 60 minutes, you're going to be able to implement step by step everything I'm sharing with you today straight away in your business, so you can get scaling and seen by the buyers you dream of in the next 30 days as a category of one business. Now, this system, as I mentioned, is empowering amazing founders to add hundreds, if not millions, in revenue in months, not years. And this is through one simple system. So the roadmap I'm sharing with you today is 5 steps, and each of those steps gives you a simple system to scale your business. And when you implement every one of them in the sequential order I'm sharing with you today, they build for you compounding growth. So here's the deal. I'm not here to sell you anything on this masterclass, but of course, there's a caveat. Some of you are going to want to take action after this, and I will be opening up a booking link at the end. Now, there are going to be 5 slots available for one-to-one calls with me directly. The rest are with my strategy team. So let's get clear. Unless you are seen as the number one in your niche, the pressure to stand out to buyers has increased. And I'm going to share with you again why as we go through this. So unless you're the number one in your niche, there's more and more competition in every niche. On top of that, the pressure to build sustainable wealth has increased, and the time to build your legacy has decreased. My question to you is, what are you doing about it? Are you taking matters into your own hands, trying to figure out what buyers value about you? That is smart, but risky, because it wastes huge amounts of time. Or are you implementing many growth systems that promise you big profits, but bring bigger and bigger risks? Also really, really risky. So when I'm talking about growth systems, all the people that message you on LinkedIn offering this solution, that solution, but ultimately, what does it bring? Large recurring investments of cash, time, overhead, complexity, and who knows if it's actually going to pay off at the end of it. Now, what if I could give you a different solution, which was a proven roadmap for how buyers can come to buy from you consistently at the end? Let that sit with you for a second. Think about all the things that you've been doing. Put them in the chat here. What has worked for you? What hasn't worked for you? Hello, Angela. It's so great to welcome you from Canada and your beautiful Glow Maline, amazing organic and natural skincare. Your biggest challenge at the moment is achieving scale. I hear you. So as we go through today, these steps are helping founders just like you achieve scale by giving them the tools on how to really strip back their business so that buyers see you as the number one choice in your niche. So everything I'm sharing with you today is going to help, but do write your questions as we go through. Welcome, Nafisa. Do put your camera on. This is a really intimate circle. Welcome, Devora. Welcome, Alex. So let's dive into, the choices that you've got, like trying to figure out what buyers value about you, using many complicated systems that all promise great things, but do they deliver? And taking instead a different choice, which is what today is all about, a different choice which will give you a proven roadmap for buyers to really understand what makes you the number one in your niche. So buyers consistently choose you at the end of it, and you need to work a lot easier than harder to scale. So that's what we're talking about today, choices. What if you could have one simple system in-house you own and understand to know what buyers value most about you? And so you can use that system to scale as a category of one business where you don't need to keep hiring expensive systems or experts. Everything, you have all the knowledge in-house. Now, instead of, having to second guess or keep living in confusion or implement more and more complexity, take on more and more recurring overhead and wait years to make a profit. Now, this one simple system enables you to build simple category of one growth. And this one simple system is what I'm sharing with you today in these 5 steps. Now, these simple system is going to give you all the benefits without the risks. It's going to enable you to have category of one leadership, a system you own forever to scale, and enable you to not have to worry every day. How do I actually grow my business? How do I actually break through to the next level? This is going to give you a simple system you own forever for the next 5 years, 10 years ahead, where you know exactly what you need to do every day to stand out and scale organically. Organically is a big thing. Now, I share with you in these 60 minutes the roadmap that stands the test of time, that is proven for the last 20 years as the system to scale consistently. Now, I'm not against ads, paid media, whatever you want to do to layer on top. But what I teach founders, and I'm teaching you here today, is a system that means you don't have to rely on that. And as I said, today we're in a really overwhelming world. Well, there's more and more complexity. There's more and more competition, and buyers need to know why you are the number one. This system delivers it. So this is also a system that's very quick to implement. And the real question I'm asking you also is to think about, is it possible for you to take very little risk yet still create life-changing, sustainable wealth and impact quickly? Now, founders, everybody I work with is brilliant, and I know you are brilliant too. Yet for different reasons, you haven't been able to build that sustainable breakthrough. Now, when founders come and use and join Impact Innovator, they get breakthroughs really quickly, because what I teach and the underpinning of everything I'm teaching today is about buyer psychology. When you understand like how buyers see your business through buyers' eyes, you go from stuck to sold out, from wanting to raise funding to getting that funding, from not knowing how to increase sales consistently to 30% sales increase, from, really, really wanting to break through to that 7-8 figure scale to doing it, to not knowing how to exit to exiting. These are some of the results of our founders, and I'm going to share their stories with you as we go through. So my promise to you and my guarantee is that I will give you more information and insights in the next 50 minutes than of what buyers actually want from you for free than most people ever do. And I'm doing that because of one reason only. I really care about your mission. I know how hard scaling a mission-driven business is, and I want for you to have all the simple tools and frameworks to be able to do that quickly. My mission is that you can make the impact you dream of without wasting time. Sound good? Yes? Okay, let's get on with it. So let's start with some fundamental founder truths. I'm brilliant at what I do. I know you are, but I feel invisible to buyers. Put a thumbs up if you're connecting with this. I'm frustrated. Founders with worse offers, worse products, worse services are making 10x more money than me. I've hired all the top people, Sarah, agencies, experts, coaches, spent thousands and thousands and thousands, and I'm still not scaling. I feel totally depleted. I quit my job to make a difference, but now I'm working harder than ever and earning less. I hear you, and I hear you because I'm going to share my journey in a minute. Like you, I am an impact entrepreneur. I didn't set out to be a coach. I didn't set out to be a growth mentor. I became one because I saw the struggle myself from the inside out. And as Warren Buffett firmly shares, it's not about how hard you row. It's just the boat you're in. And wow, that's why I do what I do, and I'm here because I've been in the wrong boats for many, many years. The boats that every entrepreneur is told, this is the boat, this is the boat. But what I realized is that, actually there's a different boat. And when you unlock that boat that gives you complete empowerment, that you know your own trajectory, how to scale, everything changes really quickly. And what's really key is that your mission, this is the moment to scale it, because right now is the biggest opportunity of all time, like I said on my first slide, to scale a mission-driven business. Now I'm going to explain why as we go through this. So here's what I'm going to cover really quickly as we go through. Okay, by the end of this masterclass, you will have discovered the buyer psychology system that is going to empower you to become a category of one leader in months, not years, and impact however many thousands of people you want. Why today is the greatest opportunity of all time for you to scale and build sustainable growth, wealth, impact, and legacy. And you're going to have unlocked the in-house consistent growth method that is enabling mission-driven founders to add hundreds of thousands in revenue to their business and build teams that scale without them. I'm going to give you this into exact 5 steps that you can follow to go from overlooked to being the category of one leader in your niche, and real stories of mission-driven founders going from stuck to breakthrough, from inconsistent sales to consistent sales, from burnout to sold out, right? Without complicated funnels. My key is simplicity. My founders say, I was in our Q&A yesterday and one of our founders, Rachel, was like, oh my God, Sarah, I wish I'd had your system 3 years ago. It is so simple. Okay, so first, who is Sarah Simmons that you are spending your precious time with today? I was a buyer who was depressed. I'm an expert since the age of 5, since understanding what buyers want, and then I became an expert at university, then I became studying buyer psychology, then I became an expert working for corporate billion-dollar retailers. I became really, really good at helping those retailers know what their buyers and clients wanted and choosing the brands that sold out. I worked for the best stores. I made them hundreds of millions of dollars, but I felt like a failure because I wasn't making good products and services that make an impact. And I knew that the businesses I was working for weren't doing that. So I called my dad one day crying and I said, look, Dad, because he was my first mentor, a textile entrepreneur, and that's why I say since the age of 5, because I would go and I would help his buyers choose the winning cloths every season. And my dad said, look, Dad, I've got this skill. I can help people understand what buyers want from them, and I systemize that so that the businesses I work with become a category of 1, but I'm using it for bad, not good. And my dad said, you have to go out into the world, Sarah, and use your skill for good, no matter how hard that journey is. And I said, I understand you because I am an impact innovator myself. So I quit my corporate job and became a impact innovator, launching one of the world's first fully sustainable jeans brands. But then I used all the existing methods I was told, all the complicated funnels, systems, coaches, experts, and I struggled to build sustainable scale. I spent 150K on those experts, but the result was a fragmented system that, didn't make me stand out, that made me vanilla, and that didn't get me bought by the buyers that I understood how they think. And suddenly I realized, hold on, because these complex systems don't make me a category of 1 to my buyers. So I stripped everything back and I built my own system underpinned by the buyer psychology I'd spent 20, 30 years training in. And I very quickly, in my own first innovative brand, went from one of many to sold out and number 1 in my niche. Now, founders then saw me and they wanted to know how I implemented that system. And that is why I built Impact Innovator OS that helps founders scale using buyer psychology to become a category of 1. What I did was reverse engineered the simple system of how buyers choose you as the number 1 and systemized it for founders. The first one who used it scaled from 2 million to 4 million in 18 months. And the 50 plus founders who've used it since have had amazing scaling in months, not years. So that's a bit about me. Let's dive in. Get your pens and papers at the ready for secret 1. Now, each secret I'm sharing with you today is also a step. Secret 1, step 1. Category of 1 foundation. How to become the only option. Now, I'm going to start with a caveat of what category of 1 is not. You might have heard it before. I'm not talking about your positioning. I'm talking about your category of 1 in light of everything that you do. Now, that means aligning all your business to be a category of 1. Because here's the thing. If you are replaceable or one of many, your business is at risk. And here's the other thing. In uncertain times, which we're in now, buyers don't stop spending, they stop gambling. Of 28 million companies in the US alone, only 4% reach 7 figures and less than 0.6% reach 8. When the market gets uncertain, right, buyers choose the category of 1. That means that you stand out on LinkedIn, on your website, on socials, not as one of many to scroll by, but as the only one. And there is a formula behind becoming that, which I will share with you. Category of 1 companies transcend commodity and defy comparison, and they last the test of time. Now, today, buyers need to understand instantly, and I mean instantly, like the click of a fingers, like 3 seconds, why to choose you over anyone else. And that is becoming the instant choice of why buyers choose you over anyone else is the number one way to actually build consistent growth, no matter the season, no matter what else is going on in the world. Why is that so important now? As I mentioned at the beginning, today is the moment of all time. I've been in the world of mission-driven business since 2006. Today is the moment when people actually care about your mission. There is this opportunity right now. There is the biggest wealth transfer of all time happening. Well, wealth is being transferred to millennials and Gen Z. $84 trillion of wealth. Why does that matter? Because 73% of those people care about purpose before price, right? And they are choosing who they want to buy and be loyal to now. So if you've been in the world of purpose for 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 1 year, the moment to become a category of one is now. That's one reason. And obviously with AI, this is bringing all sorts of additional complexity to our world. Namely that, our world is going to change more in the next 18 months, 2 years, 3 years, 10 years than ever before. And it's going to mean that there are millions and millions and millions and millions of new entrepreneurs. So if you've been an entrepreneur for a while and you're mission driven, these two market forces are coming together, which is saying that in the next 12 to 18 months, it matters more that you become a category of one than ever. If you really care about making an impact, and if you don't, leave now, right? Keep doing what you're doing. Keep using the same systems because you'll get there. The only thing I can't guarantee you is how quickly. Now, you are replaceable when you hear this. The overwhelming reality, send me an email. How many times have we heard that? Send me an email. It's interesting. Send me an email. I found someone cheaper. I'll think about it. That's when you're replaceable. Or the brilliant one, can I have a discount? The reverse is true. You're irreplaceable when you hear this consistently. You're exactly what I've been looking for. I can't wait to get started. My friends told me about your product or service. My bosses love your offer. I feel you were made just for me. So how do you become irreplaceable? Using buyer psychology. You build a category of one foundation. You get really, really focused on what makes you irreplaceable, not just better. Write that down. What makes you irreplaceable, not just better. Why you are the obvious choice, not just the good option. What transformation do you deliver that is number one, right? Not just some more features. And what is your real, authentic, heartfelt story, not just marketing copy? So let me give you an example what I mean by this in action. Every step today, I'm sharing an amazing case study with you. Here is our first one. Marie and Jason, one of our amazing members who have a brilliant organic food company. They had good product. They were over 7 figures in their business, passionate founders, but they were stuck, right? Because I work with businesses at all levels of stuck. Businesses under 100K, businesses at 3 million, all levels of stuck. They didn't know how to get out of the kitchen and, really get their business to the next level of growth. They had a team that was reliant on them. They couldn't systemize how they stood out as a category of one, what made them irreplaceable. So they had to be there working more and more hours. They were frustrated. Their relationship was really stretched because they were working so hard. Now, they were skeptical when they started, right? Marie is a very fierce, fabulous woman, and she is no BS. And she said, you know what, Sarah, I've worked with many, many coaches, but you are the number one for me, right? So she had tried the best coaches in the world before she met me. And she came to me really because she wanted to know how to stand out. Now, what we did with Marie, we didn't change her, we optimized her to be unique in the world as a category of one. We helped Marie go from saying she makes organic food to I make real food and things the French way. We gave Marie the roadmap to really give a transformation to her customers of how she delivers real food for real people. And we really helped Marie see that that was her story too. She wasn't just delivering organic products, she was making real food for real people. Now, she then was able to build a brilliant category of one positioning and foundation that she makes real food and things the French way. This simple transformation to her business enabled Marie's team to be able to scale without her, sharing with the customers, we're beyond organic food. We stand out as number one in our niche by making real food and things the French way. Now, this enabled Marie and Jason's profits to scale by 30% in 90 days. The transformation here is simplifying your business from the buyer's point of view, right? Organic food is, marketing. Saying we make real food and things the French way, that is buyer psychology. That foundation enabled Marie and Jason not to just become better, they became incomparable. Now, this transformation isn't about changing you. It's about unlocking and optimizing what buyers value the most about you. And we do this very quickly. They got there in 30 days and all our founders get there so quickly too. So today, give yourself permission to stop competing and to stop, really saying generic things about yourself and start to focus on building that category of one foundation. Now, here is the next secret to really building sustainable scale. Secret 2, step 2, the high impact offer framework. Master how to stop chasing sales and start attracting 6, 7, and 8 figure deals. The problem today that I discovered running $100 million buying departments is that buyers choose less than 1% of what they're shown. The rest is overlooked. The truth is, buyers choose one high impact offer over 8 to 10 average offers every single time. So what does that mean for you? It doesn't mean you only need to sell one product or 5 products. It means that you need to align your entire business to be a really high value, systemized, simple to understand, high impact offer that is consistent, that you can scale. Now, what most founders do is they start making more, doing more, trying more, justifying their product, convincing people to buy them, competing on price, chasing for attention, right? Now, if growth is inconsistent, the key questions to ask yourself is your business too complicated? Too many offers, too many messages, buyers can't actually figure out what you do? Or is your business too generic? You sound like everyone else in your space. Because here's the thing with that high impact offer, right? It needs to be simple to understand and unique at the same time. Now, what I learned, as an impact entrepreneur myself, I mentioned that I was a founder who pioneered one of the world's first fully sustainable jeans brands. When I started that business, it was really complicated. And then when I worked with marketing agencies, they made it really generic. And neither of those tactics worked. When I applied my buyer psychology principle, I made us unique, yet simple to understand. What I focused on is feel-good jeans. I made our category a category of one, and I made our high impact offer really, really simple. Feel-good jeans. Now, that simplicity means that when I went to see buyers, they understood me. When I went to see press, they understood me. When I was on social media, people understood me. And the result was we went from inconsistent sales to consistent sellout growth. Now, at first I thought this only worked in the fashion space. Then I realized it works in beauty, it works in home, it now works in SaaS businesses, it works in security businesses, coaches, consultants, because here's the thing, buyer psychology is universal. So the overview of a high impact offer is really giving you a really simple, systemized service offering that you can give to buyers that they understand instantly. So that rather than comparing you to hundreds of other brands, you stand out as the one in your niche, not just from your category of one foundation, but also from your offering. So that result enabled us to go from overlooked to stocked in the best retailers, win Impact Entrepreneur of the Year, and build a celebrity cult following with 1 million organic reach. And that is the second step to sustainable scale, having your own really simple, streamlined, unique, high impact offer. So secret theme is the social selling formula, how to sell without selling 24/7. So what do I mean by social selling? Well, I was speaking to a founder yesterday, and the truth is today that you cannot be reliant on, like I said, paid media to just scale your business. Social selling is a foundation that goes beyond that. It's something you can rely on that is organic and that works for you 24/7. So one of these founders I was speaking to yesterday, he was in a real panic because his business has dropped overnight in the last 2 months because the Facebook advertising algorithm has changed. His business is all over the place. And when I told him about social selling, the framework I'm sharing with you now, he was like, and I told him our members are doing better than ever, right? And not having to rely on ads to get their growth. He was listening and paying attention. So pay attention to you guys on LinkedIn, on YouTube, here on Zoom. The truth is today that everywhere, online, offline, or both, buyers are overwhelmed. There's thousands of choices competing for less than 5% of attention. The result is you get lost in the crowd, no matter how good you are, right? Now, we have a question from Lizzie on LinkedIn. How do you stop competing on price? That is a really, really brilliant question, Lizzie. How you stop competing on price is following the steps that I'm sharing with you today, right? When you follow step 1 and you go from, saying something generic or overcomplicated to enabling buyers to see why you are a category of one, right? You instantly stop competing. Step 2, when you streamline all your services and your products to say not only are we a category of one in everything we do, but our product and service, it is so unique. It has the most top benefits of any other brand business out there. And this is the price. That's when you don't compete. So the answer to not competing is basically each step I'm sharing with you today, building a strong category of one foundation and simplifying your business to a high impact offer. And then our third step I'm sharing with you now, basically not just putting ads, churning and burning or competing with everybody out there, really thinking from a social selling point of view, how do you stand out and communicate your business to your ideal customer? Because that's another thing. If you're competing on price, you're often not attracting or selling to your ideal customer. When you align all your marketing to sell and talk to and build relationships with your ideal customer, then again, step 1, step 2, step 3, you stop competing on price. Remember I said at the beginning, everything I'm sharing with you today is a roadmap. It's a system. When you implement each step, your results compound. And the more you streamline and simplify each step and put it into practice, the less you compete on price. So here is what I learned today. Winners in every niche. Focus on building movements. You might have heard that before. What does it actually mean? It means that with your category of one, you stand for a clear mission, right? And with your offer, you really focus on, you stand for one ideal client. Because here's the beauty of that. Today, socially, around the world, there's millions of your ideal client, and you can reach them when you understand these social selling skills and framework I'm sharing here in our step 3. You can reach them anywhere in the world, as we have reached you online from London to the US to Canada to the world. So as an entrepreneur, right, you kind of, our tendency is we outsource our marketing to branding agencies, to SEO, AEO people, content, social media. We think of our business in silos, right? And that doesn't create a social selling foundation. It just creates vanilla, right? And if you are vanilla, you're competing on price. Now, that's what I found out the hard way. And welcome to everybody new joining us on LinkedIn, here on Zoom. Welcome Shira, welcome Devora. We're talking about the roadmap of how you stand out to buyers. We've covered step 1, build a category of 1 foundation. Step 2, simplify your business to a high impact offer. And now we're talking about step 3, social selling. So what I was sharing was when you outsource, which we all have and do, our marketing and sales to other people, right? We just end up being generic, being vanilla, and then we don't get seen as a category of 1. We don't build that status. Now, I did that with my first business. I spent over 150K outsourcing to experts and branding agencies, PR agencies, media marketing agencies, but it didn't make my ideal clients see me as number 1. So my second business, Bespoke Your World, I built my own social selling formula, which is covering steps 1 and 2, getting a really, really clear category of 1, building a really brilliant offer that stood out to ideal clients. And then the next step is all about systemizing how you build relationships and systemizing that through having a social selling formula. Now, doing that, back to Lizzie's question, right? Systemizing how you build relationships online and offline is the heart of social selling. And that enables you to also command a premium price. Here's the example. So with my second business, Bespoke Your World, we were selling really, really high-end, amazing, conscious brands. And with no advertising budget, we went from 0 to 300K sellout launches. We were selling over 100K of amazing products to one individual. We were attracting the world's top 0.1% clients, which we built relationships with online, on Instagram, and on LinkedIn using the social selling framework. And the social selling framework is made up of steps 1, category of 1, step 2, high impact offer, and then step 3, about systemizing your own brand story and brand communication. Now, that success story made founders, so the brands we stocked, ask me, wow, how did you attract clients so quickly and easily? Now, I taught them the social selling formula and they went from good to great to category of 1. Now, let me share with you this case study of one of our founders who we took through the social selling formula. So meet Carol. Carol has an amazing brand, a really conscious, fabulous brand. And she was already doing, many unique things, but there were so many unique things in what she did. It was complicated to buyers. So they didn't kind of understand how to get her, how to buy her. And same with with this sort of the influencers in her space. So Carol was overlooked. She was invisible to partners. She felt uncool, lost in the crowd. And she was just reliant on one thing and one thing only, like one way of growing her business. And it made growing a business really, really difficult. She was reliant on outside experts. She was reliant on ads. And she'd lost that ability, how she could connect with people socially. Now, she says, in a case study on my website, she tried for years to scale with different experts before she met me, but no one could systematically give her a way to simplify her business into a category of 1 business with a high impact offer that had social status that, any partner wanted to work with her. So here is how we did it. Right? Instead of being one of many, you simplify your entire business to become the number 1 voice in your niche. Instead of posting collections, you post really amazing offers and stories to your raving fans, your ideal clients. And when you get clear on who they are, it's a game changer for your business. Instead of chasing, you become the number one founder and partner to work with. And so then you systemize all of that social selling capability to frameworks that you put online, offline, that your team can run without you. Then you have a 24/7 sales process in place and ideal clients seeking you out. Everything connected for Carol, because we align steps 1, 2, and 3 in this formula. And everything connects to all of our members for the same thing really quickly, right? That's how you build consistent growth, which is a key thing that I'm sharing with you today. This pathway is about building consistent growth, right? You can't do social selling or command a premium price if you haven't got clear on your category of one or your high impact offer. When you align steps 1, 2, and 3, everything changes. So when Carol applied this step 3, right, she went from one of many to the number one in her niche. She went from, one of many sustainable knitwear companies, suppliers, and brands to the number one responsible yak wool brand in the world. That enabled Carol to have consistent 200K sellout launches. Carol cancelled her last one-to-one with me because now she's living her dream and she's having meetings with amazing funders that are going to enable Carol to get to her dream of 8 figures and beyond. Now, the difference is systemizing your entire business in this formulaic way. And social selling is a big part of that, so that you can build organic partnerships and not just have to be reliant on one way to grow your business. So that's the third step of sustainable scale. Let's look at secret 4, step 4, your mindset, right? My question to you is, are you aligning your mindset for limitless scale? Let's look at the 95% mindset secret. Right? Here's the truth no one talks about. You can have the best category of one. You can follow this system that I'm sharing with you today. But without mindset mastery and without great mentorship, without great support, without great championship, you get stuck in your own whatever that is, limitations, confusion. And I really say this from my heart because, I am an impact entrepreneur just like you guys. And for many years, I was stuck. I was stuck because I hadn't discovered the biopsychology system I'm sharing with you today. But I was also stuck on mindset, right? I was stuck on mindset because I was following the same old system. I was trying to climb mountains in business and in life, but following the same roadmap, thinking I could watch some YouTube videos, thinking I would just keep going. Yet I never invested in myself to really get to that next level of growth in my life or in my business. And it was right after this moment that I realized that having a burnout here. Right? I realized that every year we just do the same old thing and we say, this year is going to be different. This year I'm going to summit the mountain. But we do it with the wrong mindset. And as importantly with that, we do it with the wrong support around us, the wrong championship. We either try to do everything ourselves or we think that the next person selling a shiny system has the solution. Now, what I learned was that when you make a new decision with a new roadmap and not someone to, just give you a system, but someone to teach you a system, an expert guide, everything changes and you start summiting the mountains you've always dreamed of. So mindset underpins everything I do. Now, this is Mike. He is my hiking mentor he helped me bust through mindset beliefs and hiking beliefs. Could we have the recording later? Shira, we will. I don't know. That's up to my team. They're in charge. We don't normally share them, but maybe we will. We'll see for that for you. And also, as we take a break with answering some questions here, we've got one from Jean. My team is struggling to become the only choice for our ideal client. Our niche is quite wide and there are many options to go with. Would you recommend one thing to make us stand out more? Jean, at the end of this conversation, I'll be putting a link in the chat to book in a one-to-one category of one strategy call. Now, if you're serious about your growth and you're one of the first ones to get that call, we will unlock that live together because that call will be guaranteed with me. Okay. And that's what we will do in the session. So back to this mindset, right? I made that change with Mike, who helped me as a mentor understand my own limiting beliefs, which is a key part I do with my founders as well. And not only that, Mike gave me a system. He didn't say, I'm going to solve all your problems and work with me for a few months. He gave me a system that I owned forever, a hiking system with many subtleties that were the game changer. And I realized that same thing happens in business. When you actually stop just trying to rely on yourself or stuck in your own mind and open yourself up to be championed by others, they give you systems to summit mountains really quickly. So my question is for you, which future wins? Keep going as you are, right? That's totally cool. My question is going to be, how long do you have to make the impact you dream of? Now, if you've got time, keep going as you are. Or if you're do you know what, Sarah, this is the year that I want to summit my mountain, then this is a new road for you. This system is a new road. So which is it going to be for you? Okay. And I've got something to share with you. When you take a new roadmap, you unlock your real power is you. And that's the game changer. Let's dive into Secret 5, Step 5. Okay, Impact Innovator OS. One simple system for sustainable scale. So as I shared earlier, as an entrepreneur, I, spent so much money, as I'm sure you guys have, building piece by piece, hiring this expert, that expert, etc. 30K on a branding person, 5K a month on a marketing person. The list goes on. It was 150K by the end of it. And I had nothing left at the end, right? Because actually that business, my funders pulled out. When they pulled out, what was I left with? I didn't have a system to build sustainable scale. And I'd noticed a pattern. I was doing all the right things, but I wasn't building that consistent growth. So when I did things again and I applied my own buyer psychology system, I didn't look at my business in a fragmented way. I looked at it in a unified, holistic way that brings together all the steps that I'm sharing with you today. So back to your question, Jean, how do you stand out more? You stand out more by following the roadmap that I'm sharing with you today, because that takes you from one of many, from broad in your niche to lasered in on category of one business. And you do that by looking at your business holistically, right? Here's why that's so key. Innovation is complicated and buyers need simplicity to buy. Wow, that was the game changer for me. Buyers need simplicity to buy. One of our members said the other day, Sarah, you helping me simplify my business has been the game changer I've always been looking for. And he wants me to make Impact Innovator t-shirts with simplicity on them. So buyers need simplicity to buy changed everything for me. It's you can know something as a person, as a founder. I knew it as a buyer. Buyers need simplicity to buy. But when I became a founder, it was different. That's why I also really believe in mentorship, because we can't see ourselves from the inside out. I invest in mentorship for myself for these reasons, because you need someone to look inside you and show you what makes your business simple from the buyer's point of view. So those fragmented experts didn't do that. They don't do that because they have their own vanilla roadmaps, and that creates a vanilla outcome for your business. It might be very general. They might create a snazzy website for you, a great branding deck, but if you want to speak to buyers and then they say what makes you unique to anyone else, you get flustered, right? You can't repeat it. It can't be replicated. So your team can't sell without you. So I realized what was needed for founders and innovators and mission-driven people just like you was one integrated system where you looked at your business holistically and buyers then look at your business holistically. So that system replaced all that 150K piece by piece growth systems. And it wasn't something that I needed to keep recurring fees. It was one simple system to replace all the fragmented experts, one in-house roadmap to scale organically. And it was all done in a plug and play formula for each and every founder, customized. Now, I did that first for my own business. It cost a fraction of the 150K it does separately. And I already told you the result. We went from, 0 to 300K sellout launches to the top 0.1%. Then our next founder used it. They went from 2 to 4 million. Then we've had founders go from an idea to funding to scale really quickly. We've had other founders go from 7 figures to now getting funding to reach 8 figures. The list goes on when you look at your business holistically. So here is our system for you, right? First step, here it is. Category of 1 also was the first step in this program. So what we do with founders in the first 30 days of implementing our Impact Innovator buyer psychology growth system for them is help them become a category of 1. So like Marie I talked about earlier, she made organic food within 30 days. She was a category of 1, real food and things the French way. That difference was the big unlock for Marie that gave her 30% profit increase. Now, the next thing we do within 60 days, we look at your entire business and look at how it can be simplified and streamlined to attract your ideal client by turning it into a high impact offer. So we have Rachel, an amazing innovator selling really complex services. When I first saw her complicated website, lots of different services. Now her website, you can see in the middle, simple, streamlined, systemized, meant that Rachel could go and speak on stages and her team were going and booking meetings without her. The result was Rachel got funding and now she's scaling amazingly well. How does that apply to a business? So that was services. This is how it applies to products. So Caroline mentioned, when we look at your high impact offer, if you make products, we look at how, again, you can simplify it, elevate it, and take it to that next level of growth and really to attract top partners organically. Carol did that. She's got top partners in Asia coming to her, influencers wearing her, and now funders chasing her. Now we have a question from Jessica. How do we get more clients to come to us rather than reach out? We spend a majority of our time on paid ads and outreach, but we want more leads to come to us organically. That's great question, Jessica. So how you do that, Jessica, is following the steps that I'm sharing today and also really implementing into your business a fantastic social selling formula, right? Social selling is an ecosystem and it's about building your category of 1 and then making your offering here really, really beautiful, visual and simple. Visual is key for buyers to understand why you're the only one. And then creating an ecosystem of a social selling environment that means that you will, you can do everything in your business. You can have inbound coming to you. You can have partnerships. You can have outreach. So I will say this, right? As a business, you want to have really everything going on in your business. You want to have a strong foundation so that you get people coming to you. But the way that people will come to you, Jessica, is for you showing up to them in a systemized way. So what we do here is teach founders how to show up in a systemized way that then buyers come to them and say, you are the one that I've always been looking for. For example, here at Impact Innovator, 2 of our recent members said, Sarah, we've been really following your content for a while now, and we just really love your message, your storytelling, and we really want for you to help us grow our business. So Jessica, that was really people coming to us because of the social selling formula, the category of 1 and the high impact offer that we put in place. Basically, in a nutshell, what we do at Impact Innovator, what I've learned, what the secret for your sustainable growth is to systemize your entire business into a formula, each step of it, so that buyers come to you. So Let me know if that answers your question, Jessica. Now, how does this apply high impact offer as a coaching business? Same thing, right? Here we have one of our founders, Simone, best-selling author, but he was like, okay, but what am I selling when I'm selling, my book? We've helped Simone systemize his coaching services so that he can now sell consistent high ticket offers, right? And then the thing is, with all of these systems, once you are clear on them as a founder, your team can go and sell without you. The next thing, social selling, back to that point that I just mentioned, Jessica, it's really about, being so clear online who you are as a beacon in the ground, like a flashlight, a beacon, a laser, so that people see you and they know you are the business for them. And that's what the social selling formula is all about, so that you build that ecosystem that people come to you. Okay, so now, one in-house system to scale is what Impact Innovator is. We systemize all these steps that we have shared with you. Now, I invite only up to 2 new members a month to join Impact Innovator OS. And that starts by me helping you unlock your unique power. Now, I do that, as I was talking about earlier to Jean, I do that first step in a category of 1 growth assessment. Now, you can take everything I've shared today and you can implement it on your own. The only thing I can't guarantee you is how long it will take. So my question to you is, do you have time to waste? Now, if you don't, this is our opportunity for you. You can apply for a category of 1 growth assessment. Now, I only do 5 of those calls. The rest are with my team. I do the ones for the first people that book. In that call, we look at what you're doing and we answer your questions together. We unlock where is your opportunity for buyers to come to you, to see you as the only choice in what you do. We unlock what a growth roadmap can look like for you as a category of 1 business, where your opportunities really, really lie, where your breakthrough lies to get to that next level of growth. So this isn't for anybody. This isn't for you if you're not serious about your growth. This isn't for you, if you don't have already something solid that you're really ready to scale. And this isn't for you if, you don't really have a mission to make an impact. This is for you if you really want the world to see you as the light force behind what you do. So with that, we've got the QR code here and we have a couple of minutes left for questions. So anyone on LinkedIn, on YouTube, here on Zoom that has a question, you've been asking some brilliant questions. I invite you, if there's any more that you want to ask me, I am here for you, right? What burning questions do you have? Are there any more coming through? Now, I've shared, I don't normally share the recording, but we might just do that for you. I'll see if my team are generous, because we like to keep everything, really close together. So, okay, I think that we are good. I think we've answered all the questions. So I will say thank you very much for joining us on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and I really look forward to connecting with you guys on your category of 1 growth assessment, because I believe this. On our own, I know you're brilliant, but together we change our world. Thank you very much, everybody. Take care and have a brilliant rest of your day. Bye.